In this tutorial, we shall learn posting a form of one text box. We will keep the things very simple and there will be no database connectivity. We will talk about that in later tutorials. So this is a form that user types something. When he submits it, then a message will be shown, you entered hoven.in whatever. So this is the objective, and if the user doesn't type anything, then if he doesn't type anything, if he keeps it empty, then a required validation error message must be shown to the user. So this is the objective, and for this we have to create a class. A special class could be of any name. It contains a property public string name. This name is connected to this input text box. So it is to this input that this name property is connected. Then this required tag and error message. This star required is what will appear as validation message. You can change it to whatever you do. So this is where this validation message, and then we have this prompt for this username is this text hint or placeholder that we see in our HTML forms. So this is how these various properties are attached as attributes. We were here in the previous tutorial, we were doing this. So now we can delete it, remove it, because we will add our own form. Similarly, we have this our index backing class. Let's clear it out so that we do our project today from a blank slate. So this is what we'll close other files. We'll not need them immediately, so we have closed them, and we have an empty .cs file. To this we will now add our public class input model. This is the class that will hold our properties. So the property is name that we will be connecting to our text box. So this name gets set. We can give it some default value here itself. So we write string.empty. We can add more properties as our form grows bigger. And we will now add attribute for required. This attribute required will set a property error message. This star required, I'll type slowly. So this star required will be the error message that will appear there. Since I'm doing live, mistakes are possible, but we'll do it as we do. So a prompt property, this will be the property that will appear as placeholder. We write it as username. Similarly, a second property that will be shown in labels. So we'll set it here, user name. Again we have set it to the same value. Now there are some errors that are appearing which should not be there. I have made some mistake. I will no, this is not required. There is some mistake that I have done. Most probably, let me think. The name of this class should be display and not display name. So with this, our input model is complete. And this is the input model that contains all the properties that are connected to the form. So this is the input model. You can give any name you want, but usually I give it input model, and it contains a property name. And now in our index model class, this property will be used. Input model. Some people directly use name etc., but that makes it a bit complex looking. So I have put it in a separate class, and therefore I'll now use that separate class here as the property. Now I will have to decorate it with bind property attribute. Because this property is now special, it brings data. It's a two-way binding. It connects the form to your form, sends data back. So for two-way binding, we will have to add bind property, otherwise things will not work. And now we are coming to the markup, and we'll write the form. Method will be post. This is the HTML story that we always do. I'll add some bootstrap classes also. Row. So these are the bootstrap classes that help make it look good. Row calls, sm auto, gap of 3. So it's only to make it look good. So this is the form, and inside this form I will add my input. So div is added, and here I will add a label, the display label. But here I will also need to connect it. So to connect it, this will have to be a special HTML tag. Special HTML tag for purposes of ASP.NET Core. This is not going to be simple HTML5 tag. So for this, we will have to add this add tag helper directive. Type it exactly like this. Star. It will actually turn your HTML5 tags into ASP.NET Core tags. This is required for form submission and some other tasks also. So remember that this has to be added, and it must be typed exactly as shown. Where comma is there, a comma is there. So this is, you can think of some magic trick that goes. Since this is to be used at various places, I will just cut it from here and bring it to my view imports common file, so that all pages will receive this. Paste it here. So this makes it modular, and I will now complete this label. ASP for this label will be connected to the property on my backing class. So input dot name. I am typing it slowly, so mistakes are definitely possible. And let me check it back. The name. Wait. I will have to. The name is input. This is input dot name. The input is the property here. So this input property will go. We do not use any at the rate here. At input is not, it is input dot name. I'll build it. Build succeeded, it means things are okay. So next I will add that input text box. ASP for is again input dot name. We do not have to type here type is equal to text and all, because these are now ASP.NET Core tags. So this will automatically turn it into HTML tag when the processing occurs. So this is bootstrap class, and that input is connected to the name property, and div now we'll add a submit button also. Button type is submit, and we can add your bootstrap class to just decorate it, give it a good design. And this is the submit button that will appear at the bottom. And a span is also needed for that validation message. So text bootstrap class text danger, and this is again connected to ASP validation for is equal to, so this will connect to the validator for the name property and will pick the correct message from the attributes we set there. So let's now, so this is the validation for, this will be red error. So this ASP validation for input.name will do the trick for us. It will automatically pick the error, and when we run it and when we submit it, we see that the star required actually is picked correctly. So this has to be done exactly like this. You can do it on your own computer also. Follow the steps exactly. Since we do not need this label, so I'll put it visually hidden. That label will hide it for the moment so that the form looks a bit clear. So this is in a single straight line the form appears, otherwise that label was appearing and we have seen that the error message is shown correctly. Our next step is to show the feedback message. So we will write public string. This is the onPost method that I'll start. This method will be called when the form is posted. So if model state dot is not valid, if there is some problem, we will return and stop the processing, so we return page. So processing, it will print whatever errors and it will stop here. It will stop on error so that no database entries should be made after this, no processing after this. And otherwise, for this I will have to show that feedback message. So I'll add that property public string message. So it is that feedback property that we will be showing. So when we come here in our onPost, we will set this feedback equal to you entered or you typed. So whatever is sent to us in the input, it is a two-way binding. So you will receive the name property field here, and this is the property, and then we will redirect back to this page so that we can show the redirect to page so that we can show the feedback. So see exactly as I have done. So this is the message that we want to show, but a redirection is taking place. So we have a question now. How will this message save itself? How will this message know after? How will it preserve till the next redirection? So this is now a question, because when a new redirect occurs, this will go to 0, go to default empty state. So how do we, so I'll show where the exact problem is. Let's type something and submit. Oh, I'm yet to add this property in the index.cshtml. So let me first add and then I will show that it doesn't remember itself. So this is a span that will show in a color, and here I will write at model.message. This means the message should be shown here, but I'll show that it will not actually appear. Let's run it, and now I will type something, and when we submit it, nothing happens. It is because this message property forgets it. This message property is not able to remember itself. So to make it remember, we should set an attribute called temp data. This is very often used in ASP.NET Core to preserve messages on redirects. Just add temp data, things will start working, and now you type any data, and when you click submit, now the things are working very correctly. So you should actually see the whole thing that I have done here. Do it yourself, repeat it yourself, and it's then here in our future tutorials. This can be saved to database, but we'll do it later. So this is how it completely is done.